Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Better Talk English. I'm Victoria, and today we're going to talk about something many learners struggle with, but don't always understand clearly. Hi, William. How are you today?
Hi, Victoria. I'm doing well, thanks. I was actually thinking about something interesting this morning while trying to speak English. I noticed that I was translating everything in my head again.
That's a very common experience. Many learners understand English, but when they try to speak, they go back to their native language first. It slows everything down.
Exactly. And it feels frustrating. I know the words, but I can't speak smoothly. It feels like there's a delay in my brain.
Yes, and that delay comes from translation. Your brain is doing extra work. Instead of thinking directly in English, you're going through another language first.
So the real problem is not vocabulary or grammar. It's the way we process language mentally. That's actually very interesting.
Exactly. And that brings us to today's topic. We're going to talk about how to train your brain to think in English naturally. This is a key step toward fluency.
That sounds very important because thinking in English seems like something advanced, but maybe it's not as complicated as it sounds.
Yes, many people think it's a special skill, but it's actually a habit. Like any habit, it can be trained step by step. You just need the right approach.
So instead of trying to think in English all the time, we train the brain gradually. That sounds more realistic and less stressful.
Exactly. You don't need to force it suddenly. You build it through small daily actions. Over time, your brain adapts naturally.
I think one of my biggest mistakes is trying too hard. I tell myself, think in English now, but it doesn't work. It just makes me nervous.
That's a great point because forcing it creates pressure. Instead, you should create simple situations where thinking in English feels natural. That's much more effective.
So we need to create environments in our daily life, not just study sessions, but real moments where English is used mentally. That sounds practical.
Exactly. And one of the easiest ways to start is with simple thoughts. For example, describe what you are doing right now in English. Keep it very basic.
Like saying, I'm drinking coffee, or I'm walking to work. That seems very simple, but I can see how it helps.
Yes, that's exactly it. You don't need complex sentences. The goal is to connect your thoughts directly to English without translation.
I like that idea because it feels manageable. I don't need perfect grammar. I just need to think in simple patterns.
Exactly. And over time, those simple patterns become automatic. Your brain starts using English faster. That's how fluency begins.
So it's about repetition and consistency, not about big effort, but small daily practice. That makes it less overwhelming.
Yes, and another important idea is internal speaking. That means talking to yourself in your mind. It's a very powerful way.
I've heard about that, but I never tried it seriously. It feels a bit strange at first, but maybe that's part of the process.
It can feel unusual at the beginning, but it becomes natural quickly. You're just having a conversation with yourself. It's very effective.
So instead of silence in my mind, I should fill it with simple English thoughts. That sounds like a great exercise. It's like constant practice.
Exactly. And the best part is that you can do it anywhere. No teacher, no book, just your mind. That's why it's so powerful. Let's move into practical exercises now. It's one thing to understand the idea, but you need real actions to train your brain. That's where progress really happens.
Yes, I always feel motivated when I know exactly what to do. Theory is useful, but practice is what creates change. So where should we start?
Let's start with a very simple daily exercise. When you wake up, describe your morning routine in English in your mind. Keep it basic and natural.
So I could think something like, I'm waking up, I'm brushing my teeth, or I'm getting dressed. That sounds very manageable.
Exactly. And don't worry about perfect sentences. The goal is to connect actions with English thoughts. This builds direct thinking.
I like that because it fits into my normal routine. I don't need extra time. I just change the language of my thoughts.
Yes, and consistency is more important than difficulty. Small daily practice is much better than long, rare sessions. That's how habits form.
I think one mistake I make is trying to use advanced vocabulary. I feel like simple words are not enough, but then I get stuck.
That's a very common mistake. Simplicity is actually your advantage. Simple language allows faster thinking and smoother flow.
So instead of searching for perfect words, I should use what I already know. That makes the process faster and less stressful.
Exactly. And over time, your vocabulary will naturally grow, but fluency comes from speed and confidence, not complexity.
Let's talk about another exercise. What can I do during the day when I'm outside or busy?
A great exercise is describing your surroundings. For example, there are many people here, or the street is busy today. Keep it simple.
That's interesting because it turns everyday life into practice. Even walking outside becomes a learning moment.
Exactly. And this builds awareness in English. Your brain starts noticing things in English, not translating them. That's a big step.
I think another mistake is giving up too quickly. If I can't think of a word, I stop the whole process. That breaks the flow.
Yes, instead of stopping, you should work around it. Use simpler words or describe the idea differently. That keeps your thinking active.
So if I don't know a word, I can explain it in another way. That's actually a useful skill. It makes communication flexible.
Exactly. And that's how native speakers also think sometimes. They don't always use perfect words, they just express the idea.
Let's try a mini role play in the mind. Imagine I'm planning my day. How would that sound in English?
You could say, "Today I need to finish my work and call a friend." Then you can add, "Later I might go for a walk." Keep it natural.
That actually feels like real thinking. It's not a lesson, it's just my thoughts in English. I can see how this becomes automatic.
Exactly. And the more you do this, the less you translate. Your brain starts choosing English first. That's the goal.
I'm starting to understand that thinking in English is not a single skill. It's built from many small habits. That makes it easier to approach.
Yes, and those habits grow step by step. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. That's how real progress happens. Now let's move into more advanced techniques. Once you are comfortable with simple thoughts, you can start expanding them. This is where real fluency begins to develop.
So instead of short sentences, I should try to connect ideas, maybe create longer thoughts in English. That sounds like the next step.
Exactly. You can start linking sentences together. For example, "I'm working now, and after that, I will go outside." This builds natural flow.
I see, so it becomes more like real conversation in my head, not just isolated phrases, but connected ideas. That feels more realistic.
Yes, and another powerful technique is imagining situations. You can create small scenarios in your mind. It's like practicing real conversations without pressure.
That sounds interesting, like mental role play. I can imagine talking to someone in a shop or asking for directions. It's safe and flexible.
Exactly, and you can control the situation completely. You can repeat it, change it, and improve it. This builds confidence before real interaction.
I think this also reduces fear. If I practice in my mind first, real conversations won't feel so difficult. It prepares me mentally.
Yes, and that's where mindset becomes very important. You need to accept that mistakes are part of the process. They're not something to avoid.
I still struggle with that sometimes. When I make a mistake, I feel like I'm not improving. But maybe that's the wrong way to think.
Exactly. Mistakes actually show that you are using the language. If you never make mistakes, it usually means you are not practicing enough. It's a sign of growth.
That changes the perspective a lot. Instead of being afraid of mistakes, I should see them as progress. That feels more motivating.
Yes, and another advanced step is storytelling in your mind. You can describe something that happened during your day. This builds deeper thinking.
So I could think, today I met a friend and we talked for a long time. Then I can add more details. That feels like real communication.
Exactly. And you can expand it step by step. Add feelings, reasons, and small details. This trains your brain to think more naturally.
I like that because it feels personal. It's not just practice, it's my real life in English. That makes it more interesting.
Yes, and when learning becomes personal, it becomes stronger. Your brain remembers better. It connects language with real experience.
I think another challenge is staying consistent. It's easy to start but difficult to continue every day. That's something I struggle with.
That's very normal, and the solution is to keep it simple. If your practice is too difficult, you won't continue. Small habits are easier to maintain.
So even 1 or 2 minutes of thinking in English is enough to start? That seems very realistic.
Yes, and once it becomes a habit, you naturally do more. You don't need to force it, it becomes part of your daily thinking.
I feel like this approach is very different from traditional learning. It's not about studying, it's about living the language. That's powerful.
Exactly. Language is not just something you learn, it's something you use. Thinking in English is the bridge between knowledge and real communication.
I'm starting to see that clearly now. It's not about knowing more, it's about using what I already know. That changes everything.
Yes, and that's the key message of this part. Build habits, stay consistent, and make English part of your daily thinking. That's how fluency grows. Now, let's talk about mastery, because many learners think fluency is something far away. But in reality, it starts with small, consistent habits. Thinking in English is one of the most powerful ones.
Yes, and I realize now that fluency is not a moment, it's a process. It grows slowly over time. You don't suddenly become fluent.
Exactly. And confidence plays a huge role here. The more you trust yourself, the easier it becomes to think and speak. Doubt slows everything down.
I think doubt has always been my biggest problem. I question every sentence in my head. That makes me hesitate.
That's very common, and the solution is to accept imperfection. Your thoughts don't need to be perfect to be useful. They just need to be active.
So instead of correcting myself constantly, I should keep the flow going. That makes sense. It feels more natural.
Yes, flow is more important than accuracy at this stage. Once your brain gets used to thinking in English, accuracy improves naturally. It comes with time.
I also notice that when I relax, I think more easily in English. When I'm stressed, everything becomes harder. So mindset really matters.
Exactly. A relaxed mind learns faster. You should treat English like a natural tool, not a test. That removes pressure.
That's a big shift for me. I always treated English like something I needed to perform perfectly. Now I see it differently.
Yes, and once you change that mindset, everything becomes easier. You start enjoying the process. That's when real progress happens.
I think another important point is patience. Many people want fast results, but thinking in English takes time to develop.
Absolutely. Patience is essential. Your brain needs time to adapt, but every small effort adds up over time.
So even if I don't see results immediately, I should continue. Progress is happening in the background. That's important to remember.
Yes, and consistency always beats intensity. Small daily practice is more powerful than long occasional sessions. That's how habits form.
I feel like I have a clear plan now. Start with simple thoughts, build habits, and stay consistent. It's much clearer than before.
That's great to hear because clarity makes action easier. When you know what to do, you're more likely to do it. That's how change happens.
And I think the biggest takeaway for me is this: stop translating and start thinking directly. That's the real goal.
Exactly. And that shift changes everything. It makes your English faster, smoother, and more natural. It's the foundation of fluency.
I'm actually excited to practice now. It doesn't feel like a difficult task anymore. It feels like something I can do every day.
That's the perfect attitude. When learning becomes part of your daily life, it becomes sustainable. That's the key to long-term success.
So if you're listening right now, start small. Think in English for a few moments today. That's all it takes to begin.
Yes, don't wait for the perfect time. Use simple thoughts, stay relaxed, and be consistent. That's how real progress is made.
Thank you for listening to Better Talk English. Keep practicing, stay patient, and trust the process. You're improving step by step.
We'll see you in the next episode. Keep thinking, keep speaking, and enjoy your journey in English. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye and see you next time.